I'm Nikki Hamilton and I help women transform life's challenges, grief and loss into courage, resilience and grace. Now, if I look back at images of myself 7 years ago, I can barely recognise myself. Back then, I was an ambitious physiotherapist running my own small business. I enjoyed hiking, spending time with my husband, and I was happy and healthy in my first pregnancy. And it was then where everything I came to know and love came crashing around me, leaving me in a pile of rubble trying to crawl my way out. Our son Baxter passed away completely unexpectedly and without reason at birth. Suddenly I was transformed from a woman who was happy and carefree to an empty shell of my former self. I suffered from brain fog, overwhelm, grief, depression, sadness, anxiety. I found myself ruminating endlessly over and over again, trying to find out potentially what I could have done to have changed the outcome. I felt like I was consistently drowning deep in the ocean, looking up to the surface and wondering if I would ever find air again. I found myself constantly asking the question, how long is this going to last? What's happened to my brain? Am I ever going to recover from this? Now, naturally, I tried many things to try and help heal myself. I tried yoga, vitamin B, meditation, running. I attended support groups, counsellors, psychologists, but nothing was really helping me move forward with my own health and my own grief. And it was at this time a girlfriend asked me if I'd like to take some time out and spend some time for myself on one of her yoga retreats, just a chance to press pause. And I found myself at that point really asking the question, do I really want to go on this? I really felt resistant. And I examined my resistance. Like, why did I want to say no? Yes, I was worried about spending time with other women, and I was worried about the heavy hole in my heart that was the size of the universe that felt invisible to other people. But really, I found myself saying no to this retreat because I developed two beliefs. Now, that first belief that I developed was that I wasn't worthy. You know, like, what sort of woman was I if I couldn't protect or save my own son? How could I possibly continue and find joy in my life if my son couldn't live? The second belief that I developed was that I was potentially abandoning my son. Like, if I did something nice for myself, was that being disloyal? Was I abandoning him? And it was at this time that I read a quote from Dr. Demartini, and that quote read, "Whatever you have or have not done, you are worthy of love." Whatever you have or have not done in your life, you're worthy of love. And when I read that quote, there was something inside me that just shifted. Whatever I have or have not done, I'm worthy of love. And I found myself really standing at a crossroads. I knew that the pathway that I was on, my health was suffering, my work was suffering, and I knew if I continued down that pathway that my relationship would likely suffer next. So at that crossroads, I knew I had to take a different step, choose a different direction, and the time was now. So it was at that point I decided I'll take all my courage and take the leap and go on this yoga retreat. And yes, I was worried, and yes, I was anxious, but I didn't. Now, it was on this retreat for the first time I managed to press pause and actually nurture my own health. I found and reflected that as a physiotherapist, I'd spent many years looking after everybody else's health and had forgotten to look after my own. And it was on this retreat that the very first steps for the Rise Up method started to be created. I began journaling, writing, creating a vision, a plan, a step-by-step framework to be able to help me rise up, navigate my own life challenges, and turn that empty jigsaw puzzle of a picture in front of me and transform that into something that I wanted to see. Now, since this retreat, I've learned more about grief, loss, and life setbacks than I would ever thought possible. I've trained as a mindfulness meditation teacher and also a Demartini facilitator. And I've put together clear steps in a framework for women to help them rise up and navigate life's challenges and start piecing their lives back together again when life becomes that tipped out jigsaw puzzle. And it's using this exact method that I've transformed my own life from a place of complete and utter despair to now running my own business with 8 amazing women at Synergy Physio, to having a healthy and happy and appreciative relationship, and to having better health than I have ever experienced. And I hold so much gratitude for the opportunity to share this method with other women so they too can rise up with clarity and grace and transform their life challenges, their grief, into resilience. Now, the Rise Up method I offer in an immersion, beautiful 4-day retreat for women where we get to piece by piece, step by step, work through the method in conjunction with a beautiful yoga, meditation space, and also time for some pampering. And if you don't have the opportunity to attend one of the Rise Up Women's retreats, you can also access the Rise Up method online or with my online mentoring. Now, we all have life challenges. Is it time to transform? Are you ready to rise up?